Yes. Once again, the juice, you know what it is. Finesse, the crowd favorite. It is Freshly Squeezed, and we are here on a Wednesday, 7 to 9 p.m. Got some special guests in the building. First and foremost, my co-host with the most is here, Miss Katya. What's going on?
What's going on, my people? It's Wednesday. I'm so excited to be here. You already know we got Katya's pick of the week later tonight.
Oh, she can't wait for
you
that.
guys got to stick around.
Wait for that.
I've been waiting for the song too, so.
She cannot wait for Miss Katya's pick of the week. She's all smiles and all grins right now.
I've been dancing since you've been playing the music, so we're off to a good start right now.
Yes,
so we're good.
And an even better start because we have SNJP podcast in the building. What's good, guys? Y'all good?
We're all good.
All good. All good.
Welcome.
Yes, we got Brian Scott. We got Vanessa Key from, again, SNJP. What's that stand for? So people know real quick. SNJP.
Solutions, not just problems.
Solutions, not
I
just
love
problems.
that.
Absolutely.
I like the way she says that, too.
Solutions,
She does, right?
not just problems.
Listen, and I'll tell you why, because if you ain't looking for a solution, you just adding to the problem.
Exactly.
That's right.
So I'm sure that's what you guys thought about. But but first and foremost, so for those that don't know you, and B. Scott, we go way back, man. You and I go back at least 30 years. We
Yes,
done
sir.
traveled together. We done hooped together. We
Man,
done.
you're losing track of time, bro.
Yeah.
It's been more than 35, almost 40.
Is it almost that? It was almost that.
Jeez.
Almost. I
And
met
we
you-
still here.
I don't even know if you was in college back then. bro.
Probably not.
I think you might
Probably
have been
not.
maybe senior year, freshman year, maybe senior year of high school, freshman year in college, maybe.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
And you know what? And here's the blessing, though. And we're still here, brother.
absolutely.
So it's a testament to this relationship, what we do to add value. And just so you guys know, like he does so much work for me behind the scenes, and I know that's my only guy that I'll go to for anything, website design and instrumentation and how to use the website. So that's my guy. So if you go on to it'syourbreakthrough.com and if you love that website, my man B. Scott did that. But just so people know who you are, because I know who you are. So Brian Scott, CEO, Brand Strategy Marketing, has been a driving force in web design, marketing, and business strategy for small businesses since 2011. He's dedicated to crafting strategies that empower businesses to solve problems and grow their businesses. Beyond his work with individual businesses, Brian is an accomplished public speaker, having addressed thousands of organizations like Coca-Cola, the Home Depot, and the Georgia World Congress Center, as well as educational institutions such as the University of Georgia and Georgia Perimeter College. That is who's in the building right now, ladies and gentlemen. That's my man B. Scott. I know, Miss Katya, you have Vanessa, right? We're going to ask you some questions as well.
Yes. Vanessa, you have quite an extensive list of all of your accomplishments, including being on the radio. We had a very small conversation about that. So I love your voice. You have such a soothing voice.
Oh, thank you.
When she speaks, this is Vanessa Key, everyone. You have done business development, real estate sales. You're an author, the radio show host, content creator. You do podcasts. Tell me what you don't do.
V.
That might be a shorter list.
Preach.
That is pretty awesome. Out of all of those things, what is your favorite right now? What do you love to do?
I think I just like being with people. I like podcasting, so that's a good thing. This is the fun part of my my career, like almost like a hobby.
I
This is
love
the
that.
fun part. But by day, I'm a real estate agent in North Carolina. So anybody moving to North Carolina, you need a
Holla at your girl,
agent.
right?
There you go.
Holla at your girl.
That's right. That's right.
We got folks, listen, that came from North Carolina and Atlanta to be on the juice. That's what's up. That's how we doing. So let me ask you a quick question. Where did SNJP come from?
Oh my goodness.
Brian pointed.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you, one day we sat around and was trying to figure out, what to call this thing. And there's so many different names out there. It's hard
God.
to choose one. And we were kind of going back and forth. And we said, you know what? Let's do something about solving problems and getting to the
I think we
solution.
went through like 35 titles.
Easy. And finally, she sent me a text. And I just added solutions, not just problems. She's like, that's it.
That's it.
Okay?
And it was available.
Yes.
That's what's crazy,
Yes.
right? Great name, but it was
It
available, which is
is.
crazy.
We went through about 35, 40 of them.
Easy.
And
It's like picking
all
a
taken.
child's name. You got to
Right.
make sure it fits.
Yes.
That it's right. Like when you know.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, that's good though. So when you guys started this past podcast, tell me how you guys like met. Like what made you know that like she's gonna be great to talk to? Like how did that all come together?
Kind of went way back. It started with like a website. and I needed a website. I started my business. I needed a website, and I called Brian. I came across Brian on LinkedIn. 20, 30 years later, because we all grew up in Rhode Island together. But here we go. And I called him, and he responded, did the website, and then it kind of mushroomed from there. Went from website to, I need you to do marketing for my company. And then, from there went into business ventures, and we started on the radio. So here we are today.
I love that. I think chemistry is so important when you're doing that, when you're speaking constantly. So I love that you guys have that. I mean,
Yes.
it had to make sense.
Yeah, and it's funny because you mentioned her voice.
Yes.
And when I talked to her about 3.5, maybe 4 years ago, I said, you know what? I said, you're going to be on the radio.
I'm like, no, I'm
Did you
not.
really?
No, I told her. Yeah. I said, not only are you going to be on radio, I said, you're going to have your own podcast. I said, you're going to be writing books. We got a book coming out pretty soon, too, which we'll talk about.
Yes.
But we're writing books.
That's right.
Television program. I said, you have a voice. I said, well, you can do
Now we going to
voiceovers and
TV.
stuff. Hey, there you go. See, that's the Vanessa-ism right
Now
there.
we going to TV.
There you go. That's the Vanessa-ism right there.
Yes. and both of you are from Rhode Island, correct?
Absolutely. Born and raised in Providence.
Okay.
Nice.
Vanessa, you as well? Providence?
Yes, born and raised in Providence.
Do you miss it at all?
Nah.
Wow.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. People going to say, oh, he's last 5 years, 5-6 years, I've been back here quite a bit.
Correct, yes.
You know what I mean? I love my hometown, love my people here, you know what I'm saying? But the weather,
it's
is
a
little
little
bit
cold.
tough. A little bit tough in the winters, It was brutal this winter too, so,
I think it's been mild, man.
You think so?
I mean,
That
listen,
is
I
my
don't
best.
mind.
That
I
is
don't
my
mind
best.
saying my age. 56 years here.
yeah.
I think the last 5-6 years have been so mild that it's scary.
The weather patterns are
We haven't been
changing.
getting dumped on as far as snow. Not like it used to back in the day.
This last
Every
winter.
week something was coming down. Now it's been oh, okay, it's time to go play some golf.
Yeah, but we'll still
Let's get it.
complain out here. The weather's never gonna. We'll still complain.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, it's muggy as you know what out here right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
75 degrees, and it's worse here than it is in Atlanta at 90.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough.
Where are your podcasts aired? Is it something that we can see online? Is what day of the week?
We air it on YouTube
Okay.
every Thursdays at 3 o'clock. So we'll use it monetized in YouTube right now. So we're asking for subscribers. Anyone if you
Okay.
listen to our podcast, if you like it, please share and subscribe.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, share it and subscribe.
Share it.
Somebody else might like it. You might not like it.
That's
so-
right. There you go.
I'll be honest with you. Judging by the feedback, I'm pretty sure you're gonna like it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
You know what
I've
I'm
seen
saying?
some episodes.
Yes. Yeah.
I think it's dope.
Yeah, we got
Yeah.
some good stuff.
Yeah.
do. Some really good content.
We 10, 11 episodes in, so
Yeah.
by the time we're about 40, 50, we'll have this thing.
And it's
Oh,
funny
yeah.
because when Brian comes home, he and I sit down a lot and go over business stuff. And you were talking about this over 2 years ago,
Absolutely.
starting the podcast.
Absolutely.
So it's dope to see it come to fruition.
Yes.
Right. What's the main theme or what's the mission of the podcast?
To solve problems. We're talking, to our community or anyone really who wants to listen. The age category is between 35,
Sure.
50, but it's touching on a lot of things that we have issues with.
Yeah.
Financial literacy,
Sure.
wealth, health and fitness, professional development, whatever it's the people. Our vision is to have it be the people's podcast.
Yes.
So whatever they want to talk about, we're willing to delve in and talk it out with them.
That's dope.
But we're trying to really, at this point, focus on relationships, money, and also business. Getting people to understand and what's going on in the community, like Vanessa just mentioned. You know what I'm saying? So.
Oh, I love that. I might have to think of some personal questions too for
Absolutely.
this.
Right.
I might have a little something I want to ask about relationships and money.
I've always been a person that likes to solve problems. So, the name is just right on point.
Right on
and what
point.
we do, to try to help the community, is also something I think that we're getting better at, you know what I'm saying, as we go along. Like I said, we're 10, 11 episodes in right now. And check us out, SNJPodcast.com.
I love that. We
Yes.
have to
So let's
it.
do this. They're gonna be here for a little bit, folks. We're gonna dive back into this music real quick and come back with SNJP. All right, you know what it is. Freshly squeezed on the juice. 93.7, 103.7 HD2. Get at me again. 20401-227-2600 for me and your girl. Yes. Once again, 93.7, 103.7 HD2. You know what it is. Freshly squeezed. We are on the juice. And we're here with our two guests, amazing guests, my man B. Scott and Vanessa, and the hostess with the mostest. We still
yeah,
wait for my
that's
man
true.
Big Waves
That's
to
truly.
pull up though. Wait, Mr. Good Energy is spending his energy someplace else. We waiting for him to pull up someplace. But we got my man Gio, right? Gio's Digital World on IG. Here, making sure we get the good content. So we appreciate that, my man Gio. Follow him on IG. So we got some questions for y'all, man. First of all, we appreciate y'all coming from North Carolina and Atlanta. Right, I make it sound like y'all came just for the juice, but it's okay.
Yes,
when in Providence, you have got to visit the juice. So we appreciate y'all knowing about the station to come here and have a conversation with us.
Well, I got to be honest. Vanessa came all the way from North Carolina. I've been here for a week.
Oh.
Yeah, because I'm coaching summer league over at Mount Pleasant.
Oh, yeah, the Kilties.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. So that was my main reason for coming, and also I have other folks and clients I'm visiting here.
Yeah.
So
B love the kids.
Love the kids.
B love the kids.
Love the kids.
Yeah, so we're here discussing their podcast solutions and not just problems, or the way Vanessa says it. You put a little twist on it.
Solutions, not just problems.
See. So when you guys are doing your podcast, how do you balance your creative ideas between the two of you?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Well, because we have three main topics that we talk about, which is relationships, money, and what's going on in the community or in business related topics. We usually either pull something from the headlines that might be taking place, that's going on in the community or going on maybe online, and we also want to make sure that we talk about things that we think are relevant and things that are going to make a difference in people's lives. So we're not just here just to talk about things, just to have a conversation. We want to talk about things that'll help the community, help people to solve problems. A lot of us are dealing with money issues. A lot of us are dealing with relationship issues. A lot of us may want to start a business.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So all of these topics right here are the things that people are most concerned about in their everyday lives. So we're just saying, hey, what's going on, what's important to people, getting out here in the streets, talking to people, find out what's of interest to them. We may even take something from a family member or perhaps, someone that we had a conversation with and be like, oh, that's a good idea, And we started out with the first series talking about relationships between men and women. And Vanessa being married and me being single, we had two different perspectives. You see what I'm saying?
Two different ends of the spectrum.
Juxtaposition.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That's really good, yeah.
Yes.
And now we've moved into the money series.
Right.
Okay.
Got
so
it.
we're talking about credit, personal finances, how to start a business in 30 days is a podcast.
Yeah, we just did that one.
Yes, we did. Go check that out.
Yeah.
On SNJPodcast.com. Bring you right to the YouTube channel.
Episode.
Yes.
What's the feedback been like from your listeners?
We've been getting great feedback. I can tell you one of the things that's I didn't anticipate in terms of doing a podcast is being able to grow it. You know what I'm saying? It takes time. Yeah, it takes time. It takes time.
Sure.
And there's a lot of activity out there online, as far as YouTube is concerned. And you have to deal with a lot of nonsense. You get the dog chasing its tail gets 5,000, views.
Right.
Or
you're talking about
5,000 comments.
Right,
exactly.
Right. You're talking about credit and how to build your credit might get 10 at first.
Exactly. And it's something that we need.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So everything we're talking about are things that we know we need in the community. So we address things that, like I said, that are going to help people to solve problems in their daily lives.
Word. That's what's up.
What would you say your favorite part is about working together?
Well, we vibe. We think alike. So we're on the same page when it comes to, the community and talking to people and bringing information to them. I think a lot of it was we couldn't get information ourselves, so it was kind of like, let's just do it ourselves.
Right, that's true.
Let's just do it. Let's just get it done.
Solution.
That's right.
Right.
Let's be the solution and not the problem.
Yeah, and we used to have strategy sessions, and sometimes they would last 3-4 hours on a Friday. And I'm like, it's go-to Friday.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And she'd be like, Brian, I got stuff I got to do. I got to get dinner on the table. I got a husband and a family.
Shut up, please.
You know what I'm saying?
And Vanessa, listen, we didn't have the 3-hour conversation. Late to meetings.
But we
food cold.
Yeah, we just got into it, and it's like, hey, wherever it takes us,
Yep.
So, another thing too, Vanessa is a quick learner, okay, and she also has a lot of great ideas herself. So when you combine those two, and she listens, You know what I'm saying? And we listen. No, seriously. And we listen. No, seriously, because everybody knows.
cooperate?
Everybody knows I'm a talker. You know what I'm saying?
I'm cooperative?
Everybody knows I'm a talker. But at the end of the day, she listens. She adds value. She makes sure that she checks me on stuff that may not be something that's going to be in our best interest. And the other thing that we do is we made I guess like a decision at the very beginning that whoever came up with the better idea, that's the one we're going with. So there's
that's taking the ego out.
There's no
right?
ego.
That's taking the
there's
ego
no
out.
ego
No ego.
involved.
Yep.
I see why you're friends with him. We've been friends with him for a long time because I see the similarities, the way y'all
1000%.
talk,
Absolutely.
the value and all the adding and all the bringing the
1000%.
people in and the chemistry and the value.
Yes.
I was like, I think that's why I'm here right now was because of this guy right here.
Yes.
So, like,
1000%.
he sees that. And you guys are starting to sound a lot.
Yeah.
It's the energy, right? I think the energy breeds energy. So like I know who I want to be around, and I know who I don't want to be around.
Yes.
And that's a choice.
And that's
right?
important.
It's
You
important,
have to
right?
attract the right
to know,
energy.
yes. And what you put out will absolutely come knocking at your door, whether you like it or not. So that negative energy or positive energy will find its way to your door. So I choose to be around positive people, and that's why B and I have been friends for like over 35 years.
Over.
And never fall out. Right, I think the same kind of energy. Like he'll check me, I check him, and there's just no ego.
Yep.
And that's what even our radio show.
Yes.
Right, with Miss Katya
Yeah.
and Mr. Good Energy. Ironically, right, Mr. Good Energy. We're still waiting for him to pull up, but we have to have that. So like that communication is so important.
Yeah, you can only fake it for so long. So if it's
Right.
not organic,
Right.
if you can't vibe with the people that you're working with or whatnot, then it's eventually just going to fall apart, I feel like. Have you guys faced any challenges while, trying to build this or working together?
Like that, just like what we said earlier, it's also like a two-edged sword because we work so well together. We'll go ahead and just boom, 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 and then it's like we gotta reel ourselves in before we're doing too much now.
Trying to do
Let's
too
bring
much
it
at one
back
time.
in,
You know,
So
she brings up a great point because one of the things we learned last year, we were on a roll and we were trying to do everything, including building a studio. And we had to take a step back. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to take a step back and regroup. And we made a decision that we're going to focus on one project at a time. So rather than trying to put out 4 or 5 things in a week, you know what I'm saying? Like literally, we're trying to go at that speed. Probably like once a month, you'll see some new piece of content, a book, a new idea, a new business that may, come into mind.
The consistency has to be there too.
Yes.
Just like you said with YouTube and the views, you have to be consistent.
Yes.
You got to put information that everybody wants to listen to and it's relatable.
Absolutely.
So it just, you have to have that consistency for sure.
oh yeah,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
that's something I would just advise new business owners. To take one step at a time,
Yes.
do one thing, master it, and then move on.
Yeah.
Don't be like us.
Yeah. Right? You just try to master everything and everything falls to crap, right?
Yeah.
I think we've all been there. We've all been there. I think we have so many ideas in our head, right?
Well,
things that we want to accomplish and just kind of, I always say that I always tell people that when I coach them that one thing has to become the thing. Like let one thing become the thing and then you can branch off of that thing.
That's right.
But we can't do everything at once and then you get nothing done.
Exactly.
So
I feel like corporate worlds and our regular 9 to 5, everyone strives on multitasking. They want you to do so much in so little time and do it all at once, all the time. And that's hard. That's hard. And that's what they look for. Well, can you multitask? Can you multitask? And I'm like, I can work at one thing really well, one at a time.
Right.
But I just think that your attention, deficit
detail.
to those other
Yeah.
things, it can separate. And I think that's tough sometimes.
let me tell you, I've got 8,000 notes in my phone. Okay.
Sheesh.
And literally, I have to make sure that I focus on one thing a day.
Yeah.
Like I had to make this the priority for today is to come in here and prepare for this. But also, I may, have laundry day. You may have, I also did some stuff on LinkedIn where I'm actually, have a LinkedIn strategy that I'm putting together right now. So I do about 3 things a day, and I believe in the power of 3. Focusing on 3 things a day, get them off your list, 3 major things, that's it. You do that for 30 days, that's 90 different things you were able to accomplish.
Especially when you
do
have
that
multiple
math. That's the
business.
math kids need to understand. That maths.
Yeah.
That maths.
But yeah, when you have multiple businesses too, you really have to,
Yes.
one thing a day. Start prioritizing.
It's funny because when I was writing my book, right? So I'd asked you, it wasn't writer's block. I wasn't quite sure how to put the book out, how to, I was at at the high school, obviously DJ Finesse, talking about doing some merch, and he was like, yo, focus on one thing.
Yes, sir.
And you were like, focus, like just break your days up.
Yes.
I mean, like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, just write your book.
Yes.
Tuesday, do something else,
Yep.
but you can't do everything at that point in time.
Yep.
And that helped me immensely because I just like focused on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I would write my book. And then Tuesday, Thursday, do something else. And I wasn't really good at multitasking at that point in time.
And we also talked about having something you can point to. Remember sitting down and having that strategy session that day?
Absolutely.
And I was like, look, you get that book out, you're going to have something you can point to.
Correct.
And he did it. He went ahead and did it. And I was involved in 50 other different things and never got around to it. He ended up putting in the work and got the book out, 2 years ago?
2020.
5 years ago?
Yeah, during COVID.
So we was talking 7 years ago?
Yes, we was.
Man.
Yeah, we was strategizing 7
Oh my
years
goodness,
ago.
that place isn't even there anymore.
I know. Going. Going.
Wow.
Yo, but we're gonna get back to some music, and
We got to pay some bills first.
Yeah, and we're gonna get back with Katya's pick of the week. We're gonna play my song, and I actually have a personal question for you guys. So we're gonna tell the listeners to stick around, but I want to ask some personal questions about financial relationships and things like that. So
And shout out to Lady Ruck, because without her, we wouldn't be doing any of this right now. So
None of
Lady
it.
Ruck, you hold us down, so we can figure out how to run those boards. We appreciate you, Ruck. So let's pay some bills. We'll be right back.
Multitasking.
Yes, multitasking.
Thank you, Lady Ruck.
Yeah, she's multitasking.
what's going on, guys? We are back with Freshly Squeezed. We are having a really great interview with Brian Scott and Vanessa K. Just talking about their podcast, Solutions, Not Just Problems. I love that. I love coming up with a solution for the little problems that we have. So with that being said, I'm going to ask you guys a personal question, see if you can help me out. So I've been in a relationship for a while, and I think that eventually when we take the next step and it's time to combine the finances, what is the best way to do that? What do you think? Because I know, Vanessa, you have been married, and Brian, you're single. And so how, from a men's perspective, female, like how do you begin to have that conversation, have financial trust? We both came from backgrounds where, you know, we've kind of got burned in certain ways in relationships and whatnot. So coming into it together, starting, you know, to kind of build that life, what would you give me some advice on how to do that?
Well, I think the first thing, it's starting to address that prior relationship, the feelings that you're having from that prior relationship. You have to kind of let those down. You know, you're into a new one, so you got to kind of let the baggage go, and start over, right? Knowing that marriage is, and I can speak on my marriage, it's not a partnership, it's not a 50-50, it's 100% from each party. So you're giving it your all. And what always works for us is transparency. When it comes to finances, we put it all together, and it doesn't matter who makes what. One makes more than the other. It doesn't matter, because in our mind, it's for the family. It's all for the structure of the family. So we're one unit. So we put it all together. And I mean, it's still good to have your own independence. I mean, you want to keep that too. But, if we do anything big ticket, we confide in each other. We're going to consult with each other. So it's always the main point is communication and transparency.
Transparency, I love that word. I think we've had some pretty awesome conversations when the music was playing, when I was asking you like personal stuff. Honesty is when you ask someone and they tell you the truth about it. Transparency is when they tell you something without you having to ask, and them completely just kind of letting you know what the situation is. So I love that word, transparency, because you're kind of putting it all on the table, just kind of letting everybody know like what it is. Hey, I got this much debt. This is what I have going on. How are we going to handle this, and take on the next step?
And it can be you can be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Like if you have debt, those are hard subjects to talk about, but they do need to be talked about, before you take that step.
Let me jump in real quick and ask a question as a male, because I think we're kind of taught to like male dominant. The male's the provider, right? The male's got to make the money and do that kind of stuff. Do you find like it's hard to get through the men? For men to be able to like let that guard down and be okay with their woman or their wife making more money, because my wife makes more money than me, not a lot, but she makes more money than me, and I'm cool with it. I'm like, get the bread, get to the bag, like get to the bag, let's get it.
Women are making a lot of money these days,
as they should.
You know what I'm saying? In Atlanta, it's nothing for a woman to make 6 figures all day. You know what I'm saying? And there's probably not a lot of guys in Atlanta that are making the same money that women are making. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But like Vanessa said, piggyback on what she was saying, it's 100 and 100. You're basically forming a corporation when you go and you sign your name on the dotted line.
Sure.
Okay, so think of it not only as a romantic, relationship, but also a financial one as well. Because God forbid, if things go south and it doesn't work out, you're both going to split 50-50. So while you're in a relationship, why not put 100 and 100 in?
Yeah, that makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah. And I'm good with it. Like I'm like we do well, right? I do well for myself, and she just does really well. You know what I'm saying? as she should. She worked hard to get where she's at as a nurse, right? And she does well, man. I'm proud of what she's accomplished already.
And one of the things I'm going to tell you is a lot of times I see people make money, but they don't know how to manage it, they don't know how to invest it, and they don't know how to grow it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that we're teaching a series right now on how to invest, how to deal with credit, how to deal with personal finances, how to start a business, okay, how to invest in things like stocks, bonds. I mean, we're not experts in that area, so we're not going to go down that road. And when we do talk about the investment side, which is going to be coming up in 2 weeks, we will have professionals come on and talk about that. I mean, I have a background in accounting and marketing, but I'm not going to go there when it comes to investing, even though I do know some things about investing, with what I've done and what I've been able to, help other people.
And those courses that you have, like couples join and they just like learn from that. How does that?
Well, it's really what we do is we mainly think about. We do a little brainstorming. We figure out what would we want to know. What would someone want to know from a married perspective? What would someone want to know from a single perspective? We come up with about 12 to 15 questions. Figure out what's the best out of that. Pick 10, and then we go from there. Okay, so that's how we more or less put the podcast together too. So if anybody's interested in that, So we figure out, okay, what's the best? What do people want to know? And sometimes we may send out a survey as well to kind of get some feedback from the people that are listening to the podcast to get an idea as to what they want to know about too.
We do research, stuff that's factual. Well, we'll do the research behind it. We're looking up.
I gotta stop you there. Vanessa does the research.
She was going 100. She was going 100. She was going to give it up.
I was doing a 50-50 partnership.
You guys are a team, though. You guys are a team. She said we.
I probably shouldn't have said that.
But then the day of the show, Brian's like, I got to change. I'm going to change the show up a little bit.
But you know what? But we each have our own role. You know what I'm saying? And we understand what our strengths and weaknesses are.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you understand that, it's kind of like, okay, this is what she brings to the table, this is what I bring to the table.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we collaborate, and that's how we're able to produce,
But I learned a lot, especially that the relationship ones, I'm kind of married and under a rock. Like, not under a rock, but when you're married, you're in a certain position, right?
Sure.
You're not out there like that.
There,
so Brian's been teaching me all the new types of relationships and everything.
Right.
Listen, we're fascinated, right?
What?
Listen, in 2025.
Yeah, and let me back that up for a minute because I do a lot of research online. Okay, as far as watching a lot of content.
Yeah.
I watch content every morning.
Right.
Just to get an idea to perfect my skills. To improve what I'm doing. So if there's new ideas, new ways of doing it. The old way that was happening 5 years ago where you're just sitting down and maybe interviewing somebody, we're mixing it up a little bit. People going out to the streets and interviewing people and, doing the coffee shops in their car. I mean, there's all different kinds of ways to get the content out there. So
yeah, dating is not what it used to be. I feel like
I wouldn't know.
First date, dates 1 through
Stand
3, you should take her to a financial class. You know what I mean?
wow.
Like, I feel like, I was watching stuff on like social media, and these women expect like $500 dates.
Yeah.
And they're like, yo, if you don't come with like
Yeah.
everything on the first day, like the man's not
Absolutely
good
not.
enough.
No.
And I mean, we're talking serious money. Like, he would take her on vacation or like some dinner or
On a
something.
date?
No.
It's a date. Like, and I'm
Oh,
talking
absolutely not.
first or second. And these women are like, if he can't come through like that, why should I even bother?
No.
These are like, these people
crazy.
are real.
B, we had these conversations.
No.
We had these
It's
conversations.
crazy. It's crazy,
this
but I'm so glad I'm not like out there.
That's like a
even,
Kevin
dating.
Samuels episode,
No,
right?
this is not.
Yo, seriously.
God rest his soul.
This is not the 1950s. You know what I'm saying? To where we're sitting here at what is it? At Ralph's or Al's or whatever it was on Happy Days.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
let's meet
Al's,
at the
Al's, right?
Nah, we're not doing that. Basically, let's meet for coffee. Let's meet somewhere in
Yeah.
a public place. Sit down and get to know each other, because there's a few things I'd like to learn about you and vice versa.
Shoot, take me to church on first date. You
Hey,
know what I mean?
Listen.
Yeah.
And that's when you know.
Ain't gonna be Cancun.
That's how you know the quality.
That's right. You got to do more talking
it's
on
about-
the dates.
It's about
Yeah,
quality.
but the expectation's crazy. He was telling me like all these women that are making the 6 figures are really expecting men on their level, and I'm like, where's the true love in that? Like, how do you
That's
find?
got to work both
don't hear
ways, though, right?
trust.
Yes.
That's got to work both ways. I think that people in general want more than they can actually provide, right? So it's almost like do some self-exploration. Look yourself in the mirror. Like, who are you really? What is your value? Right, and I think that there are people who might be like a 6 or a 5, like shooting for 10s.
Whoa,
6
whoa,
at
whoa.
best.
Hey, I'm saying, hey, we're giving out numbers on the radio.
I'm saying when you say your names to the number,
5 and 6. What's that?
I'm saying like if you're a 5 or like if you're a 5, like you can't expect the 10 to
me,
just
sir,
come
can you-
busting through
You're
your door.
crazy.
Can you
Right?
tell me what a 5 looks like, bro?
No, a 5? No, I can't.
Don't get in trouble.
Cause I got a dime piece at home. You know what I'm saying?
You see? That's what I'm talking about.
Mine's a 10, so I don't know what a 5 was like.
Okay.
So
Nope.
with your podcast, guys, like, where do you see this evolving? Like, after all of these conversations, after all of this promoting, right? Like, where do you see the future of solutions, not just problems?
Well, our goal is to get to 5,000 subscribers, and then go on to radio and get to the point where we're actually doing it. What is it? Is it Heartbeat? Which one is it?
iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Yeah, we want to be there next year. So we need.
You will
we
be there
need,
next year.
yeah,
Manifest
we
that.
need,
You will
yes,
be there.
We will
Yeah.
be there next
Yeah.
year.
We want to get to the point where, like we said, we're writing books.
Yep.
We're doing in-person presentations, like fireside chat type things. You know, so if anybody wants us to come out there and have some conversations with your people, could be at a church, could be a community organization, could be a fraternity, sorority, whatever the case might be, we are more than welcome or more than willing to come out and speak to that audience. Okay, and by the way, our audience, I don't know if you're going to get to this question, but our audience is primarily men and women over the age of 30 years old.
Over the age of
we're,
30.
we're dealing with a more mature audience.
Right.
Got
The
it.
ones
Yep.
that want to settle down and get the information and they're ready
Get
to
their
take
credit
their life
right,
serious.
and get their
After
credit
they
right.
messed it up in their
or not,
20s.
right? Or not mess the credit up.
After they
Right.
messed it up in their 20s, they can't
Yeah.
find a man.
Yep.
You know, because
Come to
they're,
y'all.
they're all 5s that they're looking at. You know what I mean? And they're like, how do I get a 10 with that makes 6 figures?
Right.
Then they come to you and they ask you the question.
Not with a 580 credit score, you won't. Right? You ain't
right.
getting a 10 with a 580 credit score.
So we're pulling
Not gonna
credit
happen.
reports now.
Listen, I'm throwing
Go
them
to
out
your
there.
annualcreditreport.com.
Yes,
Pull your
you in the
credit.
500s, low 600s. You're not getting someone that's a 10 that's got a 780 credit score.
Hey.
They're not messing their credit score up for you. I'm sorry.
That's right.
They're not gonna do it.
And that's the other thing about SNJP. We keep it real light. You know, we try to add some humor.
Yes.
So it's not this. Even if we're talking about finance, we mix in our own stories, you know, our own experiences. So it's not something where you're gonna go in and it's like 1 + 1 = nah. We're gonna basically get down to business and make it so that you know it's enjoyable. Because of course you got to entertain people. You know,
Sure.
now
Oh,
it's
yeah.
difficult to keep people's attention, and you got to have an entertainment aspect to it as well.
And where can our listeners find you online or connect with you if they want to hear more about it?
YouTube.
Other than you,
Yes.
yeah, okay. Well, what's your socials?
Oh,
So people know how to
yeah,
find you. Social
well,
media?
Yeah, my social is Brian J. Scott 84, and that's at Instagram.
Instagram?
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't really do any of the other except YouTube.
Yep.
And I'm on LinkedIn.
Okay. Okay. Same handle,
Yes.
LinkedIn?
Yes, Brian J. Scott. Yes.
So Brian J. Scott 84.
No, it's not 84.
Okay.
I don't have that one memorized, unfortunately.
Got it. Okay.
But I came here to promote the Instagram.
1,000%. The IG and the YouTube.
Exactly.
Yeah. DM you if you want it, right?
Instagram's a little bit more professional.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? And for those of you, I'm sorry, LinkedIn is a little bit more professional.
Yep.
And for those of you that are professionals out there, get on LinkedIn. I'm telling you, it's a great tool. Whether you're trying to hire, you're looking for a job, you're trying to get prospects when it comes to business, get on LinkedIn.
Yeah, I need to get a little more.
Yes,
little
sir.
more.
Yes, sir.
Same.
With the coaching,
I'm not-
the coaching and the book. Yeah,
If you're
absolutely.
dealing with that professional crowd, you
Right.
definitely want to get on LinkedIn.
Sure.
No doubt.
Oh, yeah. Mine's is Vanessa K. Broker. I'm on LinkedIn, Facebook. On Instagram, it's Vanessa K.broker. But
Got
it's
it.
Vanessa K. Broker across all platforms.
All platforms. Listen, we appreciate you two coming through. We know that you're Rhode Island natives. You came home to visit some family. And
I hope it's not too cold for y'all here. This is what we got right now.
It's
No,
warm.
It's gonna be
This-
100 on Tuesday, just like
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
it's going
Not
to feel
with
like
the
home.
Not with the mugginess.
Yes,
Oh,
you know what? Yo, come on, you're from Rhode Island. You know what's
I know.
coming.
I know.
We all act like we don't know what's coming every season, right?
Right.
Seriously.
Like we don't know what Rhode Island has to offer as far as the weather. So listen, we appreciate you too. Anything the Juice can do, and obviously Freshly Squeezed to help promote your business. We appreciate you two coming here, coming to be on our show and give us
Yeah.
your time and your expertise. And guys, again, that's SNJP, right? Solutions, SNJ, sorry, P. Solutions, not just problems. Podcast on YouTube. Make sure you follow them. Make sure you subscribe, and obviously tell a friend to tell a friend. That's how we do.
Yeah, and when the mics were off, I learned a lot from you guys. So I'm looking forward to your podcast and tuning in and getting more information. So I definitely got some takeaways from that I'm going to be holding on to and sharing as well.